Howdy, and welcome to Yates American B244. In this episode, we're going to be doing some general disassembly of the drivetrain side. I want to remove this door hinge so I can get to all the drivetrain components, and these screws are all frozen up, especially this one. Removing the cutter head will be facilitated by removing this brake pad and this brake disc on the end of the shaft. At some point somebody put an old-fashioned doorknob on the brake handle. These set screws are just barely engaged. So, I'm having a little trouble getting this bushing off of this brake shaft, so I'm going to try using a ball joint separator. There it goes. Whoops. With that brake hub removed, it'll be easier to remove the chain and those other sprockets. This linkage right here is obviously not original. It looks like it was cobbled together. Besides the play I've mentioned in this gear right here, this whole transmission, I don't know if you can see that, this whole transmission is moving. In any case, we'll start tearing it down. I made this little jig for the J180 when I was taking it apart. Chain is really stiff. I guess this cog will have to come off. I don't know what I was thinking just then. I can take off this cog and get that chain off. And now the chain is removed. So that's interesting. This is actually smaller than the one from the J180. So here's the one off the 244 and here's the J180. I know I mentioned it before, but this linkage is not original. It'll be interesting to see what's underneath all this. Well, I'm not able to remove this fan gear because I can't get to the set screw back here until either move the table or just pull the frame off and get to it that way. However, this linkage is just held on with a nail instead of a cotter pin running through the back here. See if we can remove that. Nail for a cotter pin, how about that? That large gear should just be held in by this one set screw. curious about this assembly here. There's the main pin. Now, normally this large gear would come right out, but it's being held in place by this makeshift strap. Okay, let's take a quick tour of this big gear. So these are the shackles that someone made for it. This is the main shaft, and there's a lot of wear on here, and there's chatter from the needle bearings here. This hub, that pinion gear doesn't look super worn, but there is lateral play in these bearings. And then this spot right here is where the original linkage was that went up to the fan gear. So that must have failed at some point, and they just ground it off and put that shackle on. In addition, I don't know if the camera shows this or not, but there's wear right here from the gear rubbing on this this linkage. And then of course the main gear has significant wear on the teeth on the outboard side where the pinion engages. And then, unlike the J180 where this cog is pressed in, this one is held in with a set screw, and there's actually quite a bit of slop in it. You know, maybe just tightening up that set screw will fix it. And of course there's wear along here where it was wearing on that linkage. I got this center cog removed and cleaned up a little bit. There is some pretty significant wear on these teeth. This cog was wobbling a little bit in the hub of that gear. In addition to that wobble, the entire transmission frame was wobbling around on this elongated hole. We'll remove the cross braces now so we can get to the upper feed rolls. I'm going to go ahead and pull off this back cross brace. While I've been banging on that, a bunch of debris has been falling out, so there are mice nests up in there as well. There's an acorn, a bunch of droppings, there's a walnut. Here's the back side of that back brace. And then here's the back roller, the outfeed roller. Obligatory mud dauber nest. Quite a mess. Okay, well, let's get this front cross brace off. Thanks again for watching. In the next episode, we'll take a look at the segmented feed roll. For now, this is Yates American B244 signing off.